I was kicked out for choosing art over an Ivy League degree. 8 years later, those same parents were pulling me aside, quietly asking for help they never believed I'd need. But this Thanksgiving, I stopped hiding. If you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or labeled a disappointment, this story is for you. Hit like, subscribe, and buckle up. Because this isn't just a revenge story, it's a journey from silence to freedom. I grew up in a family defined by expectations. Ivy League degrees, framed diplomas, medals, trophies. Me? I was the failure. No accolades. I didn't fit the mold. When I turned 18, I chose design school. Creative freedom over prestige. My father saw it as rebellion. And that night, he kicked me out. Barely a few belongings in my backpack. Not a word of encouragement. Just, don't come back until you make something of yourself. I lived on couches, worked late-night shifts, and designed websites for minimum wage. I missed home. Sometimes cried thinking about the family dinners I lost. Never once reached out. Pride kept me silent. Deep down, I just wanted them to believe in me. So I built. Late nights in coffee shops, endless caffeine. I launched a small design agency. Clients were few, budgets smaller. But I was relentless, like I had to prove something. And slowly I did. By year 5, I had a team. By year 8, we matured into a full branding powerhouse. Today, we manage marketing for mid-sized startups. An annual revenue, $38 million. And I've done it all in silence. No flashy stories, no Facebook posts boasting. Just work. Meanwhile, my parents proudly decorate the living room with my Emily's corporate plaque. Share her Ivy League photos, as if I never left. Then the recession hit like a silent wrecking ball. First, it was just whispers on the news. Markets dipping, inflation rising. Then a real wreckage began. My father was laid off after 35 years at the same company. No warning, no severance. Just a cardboard box and a head hung low. My mother's health, already fragile, crumbled under the weight of stress. Her prescriptions lapsed. She rationed pills like war rations. Half in the morning, none at night. Insurance? A bureaucratic maze they couldn't afford to get lost in. Emily, of course, had her own life. A mortgage, 2 kids in private daycare, a husband who was, let's just say, consistently inconsistent. Her income was enough for survival, but not for sharing. And suddenly my phone began lighting up again. Not with phone calls or pleas. Those would have been easier. These came as whispers. Quiet, calculated desperation wrapped in pride. A single text here. A cautious voice memo there. Could you help cover Mom's medication this month? Just until we figure something out. Do you think, maybe, you could handle Dad's rent for a bit? Daycare is due Friday. Can you swing it? There was no pressure in the tone, but it hung heavy between the lines. Assumed. Expected. And I, like I always had, answered. I wired money. I cleared balances. I kept lights on in homes I didn't live in. I filled fridges I never opened. I paid for health and housing and dignity like it was my duty. And I never asked for recognition. Not even a thank you. Because for them, I was always the reliable one. The one who didn't need checking in on. The one who didn't need praise. Until that Thanksgiving. We gathered around the table like we always did. My parents at the head, Emily and her polished little family next to them, and me at the far end. Same food died. Same grace. Same shallow conversations about weather and traffic and cranberry sauce. But I had changed. I watched them that day, not with bitterness, but with clarity. My mother's half-smile, worn from years of quiet survival. My father, more shrunken than I remembered. Emily, sipping wine, laughing easily as if nothing had cracked beneath the surface. But I had felt every crack. So, while they passed the stuffing and laughed about the past, I stood. I reached into my bag and placed a single thick stack of envelopes in the center of the table, carefully sealed, quietly dignified. My father raised an eyebrow. My mother reached forward, unsure. Emily's expression tightened. "These," I said, my voice clear and even, "cover the medication, the rent, the daycare, every quiet ask, every whispered bailout." I looked at each of them in the eye, and the rest. My voice caught for just a second, but I steadied it. "I've been covering for years, but I'm done hiding it." Silence. Real heavy silence. The kind that swallows rooms whole. My mother's eyes welled up, not just with tears, but recognition. My father's jaw clenched as if he'd swallowed something too sharp. Emily. She didn't blink, just stared. Stone cold, the mask slipping for a heartbeat. "I'm more than what you chose to see," I said. "You didn't ask how I built my life. You didn't want to know, but I built this company. I didn't go to college because you threw me out. I built my life from the ashes of being unwanted, and you know what? I'm proud of it. But I'm not here to be your invisible backup plan anymore." I sat back down, my hands shaking slightly under the table. But I didn't apologize. I didn't explain. No one spoke for the longest time. Then slowly, my mother reached for the envelope in front of her and held it to her chest. My father cleared at his throat, but his words never came. Emily pushed her plate back and stood up to leave, her fork still half full. And me. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the fixer. I wasn't the invisible scaffolding holding everyone up. I was seen. And I wasn't sorry. If this story resonated, if you've ever worked tirelessly, only to be overlooked, smash that like button, subscribe for more real-life journeys from silence to strength, and comment below. What was the moment you finally chose yourself? I'd love to hear your story.